I was thinking about this Raw. I was worried that, I'll give it to you like this. When the Elimination Chamber came around, we had good matches, but not very good storytelling. I really believe when it came to Dean Ambrose, he should have won that title, because it really would have helped what's going on in the WWE. Also, as you know, I wish Naomi had won, or at least Paige had won, instead of what happened with Nikki Bella. When I look at this Raw, I saw that they focused their attention on one person, and one person alone. You know who I'm talking about. But I really believe they kind of dropped the ball at the end. Really. Just a little bit. But let's get into this entire show. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is when I got to get it over with right now. Nikki versus Paige. I have to do it now for the simple reason I don't want to think about it anymore, because I've done this video 4 times already and I kept getting into a rant because of that. I'm going to give it to you like this. I know there are a couple of people who watch my videos who actually are basically Bella fans. They are. And I'm not against you guys or girls who love the Bellas. But tell me, can you honestly, with a straight face, state that this was good for the Bella twins? Because for the last near month, Nikki Bella was simply a heel that turned face because of her sister's husband. That's the only reason she turned to a face. She did matches like a face. She won matches like a face. In Elimination Chamber, she won clean by herself, no sister at the side of the ring, which I felt was dumb. If you're going to make Nikki Bella a face, she should have lost the belt before Elimination Chamber. You should have let Naomi win it so Paige could have a feud with her, and then Nikki can come back and go against Paige and a Naomi to reclaim the belt. I'm not saying this because I love the Bellas. I'm saying this because I love a understandable storyline and a storyline arc. If you're going to go there with Naomi beating a Paige, and a Paige coming back wanting to get revenge on Naomi so she can get her belt back, then you would think they would do something accurate. But they didn't do that. They gave it a 3-way, which they let the champ keep it. When it came to this Raw, what did we get? We get a Raw with a Byron Saxton giving an interview to a Nikki Bella, who seems to be a face, who now has decided to give a Paige a shot at the title that she didn't have before. Fine. I knew there might be something screwy, but I didn't expect this. Particularly that anyone who really loves the Bellas and actually think that this match was great, you better explain what you've been smoking, because this was the worst situation you could ever have. It wasn't the fact that the Bella twin and the Nikki Bella didn't do a good match. She actually did a decent job in the fucking ring. This is what I get. You actually have a technical match between a Nikki Bella who's normally not that technical, who doesn't do very good technical. She can do basic work in the ring, no matter if people like it or not. She does decent work in the ring like most of the divas there. But this was a good technical match between her and a Paige. But the thing that ruined it was her acting too cocky, and then when there was no more cockiness and it was just a straight match where it actually got the crowd interested, she rolls out of the ring again. Her sister grabs her, puts her into the ring, she gets a pin, and they act like they did 4 to 5 years ago with stupid twin magic. If anyone who loves the Bellas, who wants to see them succeed in the WWE and get good storylines, agrees with this, I don't know what's wrong with you. I thought you cared about seeing the 2 women you like so much really get ahead and be respected by the YWC community. And seeing this, there's no respect, because this was stupid. No matter if they signed off on it or the WWE signed off on it, it was a dumb match. And I'm leaving it there because I dragged this the last time for 9 minutes. I was so angry. Now let's move on to actually her boyfriend, John Cena, dealing with Kevin Owens. This was in the 9 o'clock hour, and it was very good. Kevin Owens comes out. The crowd loves him. He spoke very well, particularly about his son and the WWE machine of the John Cena, which, let's be honest, is actually accurate. No matter if John says in real life, I say those things because I love doing it. Let's be honest, the WWE is actually benefiting from his actual love for doing what he does and caring about kids. There's no denying it. If he actually didn't care about doing that, and he really cared about kids, he would leave the WWE and focus on Make-A-Wish all alone without doing anything in wrestling. He would just go to Make-A-Wish and work with them for real life. But he loves doing wrestling, he likes making money. So he's making money from this. But let's be honest here. John Cena doesn't ordinarily do great promos in a ring with someone. He doesn't always do it that well. But in this case he did, because Kevin Owens set him up pretty well. Kevin Owens is very polished in his talking. Admittedly, I think Kevin Owens needs to stop chewing on gum when he's in the ring. I think it does kind of take away from his focusing on him. But I think it might also be part of his character to be that way. In real life, if he is like that, well, you can't do nothing about it. But I believe he should stop chewing gum once in a while because it kind of distracts you. But John Cena did a very good job. Was it the greatest work he's ever done? I say it's maybe 6 out of 10 or 7 easily. It makes you more interested going into Money in the Bank, seeing the match they're going to have, a rematch. The question is going to be this, though, that I state to everyone. Do you believe John is going to job again or not? I don't believe he'll job again, but the problem I see is that John doesn't always have to job to get someone over. But the problem is that John, whether he jobs or not, can bury someone very badly if it's done the way he does it. I'm actually afraid for Kevin Owens if they're doing this so he can job heavily to John Cena by, I believe, SummerSlam. That's what I think is going to happen. Because Kevin won this. Money in the Bank, I'm sure John Cena's going to win it. So they're going to have a deciding decision on one of their 4 big pay-per-views. It's going to make some sense. I just hope John doesn't make Kevin job too much. That he gives him something. But we don't know until then. And I say it was very good. I'm glad both of them did a good job. And let's move on from there. The Primetime Players versus New Day. Now, I could talk about the match between Dolph and Kofi, but there's no real reason to, because the only thing that people in the crowd cared about was seeing Lana up the ramp. This is what I said about Dolph having a female partner. Every time they take up either the pops or the heat, the crowd wanted to see Lana. That's one of the reasons why I believe the match was so short. It wasn't just to try and set up the New Day versus the Primetime Players. I think they kind of knew that Lana has more energy and more charisma than Dolph does right now. And I think they wanted to shorten it. So when it came to New Day versus the Primetime Players and Dolph, this makes you realize New Day is going to have a match with the Primetime Players. And as I said in my Elimination Chamber review, there's not much there for both of them. Yes, New Day has some traction. People are interested in saying New Day sucks. Yes. And the people who love the Primetime Players saying millions of dollars. But does that mean they both have great characters and character development? No. They're not really doing anything. They're not in any storyline. So you stick them both together, which probably is a happenstance. And what do you get? You're going to get a very short program with 2 black teams going against each other. We're going to have this. It's very rare that 2 black teams are actually up against one another. We just don't get it. It's kind of like with Samoan tag teams. We don't usually get them. And I'm taking this for what it is. I know there's not going to be great storytelling for the next 2 weeks. Maybe we might get a little more better storytelling on SmackDown, maybe the next Raw. But it's not going to be something substantial. It's going to be match, or dealing with each other, fight, and then a real match at Money in the Bank. But I'm still happy to see it because we don't normally see it. Next, we got Ryback. Ryback spoke very well before the match with The Miz. Oh wait, there was no match. The Miz in his very weird clothing, he kind of looks like I don't even know what the hell he looks like. He doesn't look like a Sith from Star Wars. He doesn't have that evil look. He just looks like a weirdo with no sleeves on his shirt with a hoodie. Manic from TNA looks better than him and more menacing than a Miz. And that's sad. Miz used to be so presentable. He used to be the type of guy that was just so charismatic that he could draw you in and be such a devilishly deadly heel. And what do we get? He looks like a wuss that's a nut. And he gets knocked out by the Big Show now. We have Ryback versus Big Show. And I have done a video on Ryback, but I didn't see what happened to Ryback and the Big Show. This is before then. So if I don't mention it, please know that I hadn't seen Raw at the time. But am I happy to see this? Yes, this is a rise for the Ryback. This is what we need. And next, the Rusev. I'm saying Rusev because I got a debate of the week on him too. Those two will be coming out within this week. The only thing I'm going to say about Rusev is how long will it be before he returns? And will he be given the chance to really rebuild himself? I say that in my debate of the week. Watch out for it. Let's see. Bo Dallas. I kind of feel sorry for Bo. Kind of like Bray Wyatt. Because both of them have potential to be such great characters. They're almost doing nothing. Because when you look at this match between him and Neville, what do we get? We get a rematch from Elimination Chamber. Nothing more substantial. You could have led into the next pay-per-view WWE and gave us something special with these two if you had given it time to fester. Let Neville go up against someone else and let the Bo Dallas, the Believe, beat the living fuck out of him and do something different. Show how he felt about the NXT championship. He could have represented NXT even though he's not part of it anymore. And said a lot more than what he was doing, just saying, I'm trying to help you. He could have said how I was in NXT. But we didn't get that. Well, at least not yet anyway. Unless they're not going anywhere. Well, they're not going to go anywhere because Neville is in the ladder match at... You see, I'm frustrated with this because I really believe Neville and Bo Dallas could have more. So I'm sorry. I'm moving on before I get frustrated. The Sonic Shake promo was fucking awesome. If anyone didn't like this, try to see it from a point of view of just making you laugh. Yeah, the Big Show wasn't that great. Yeah, New Day wasn't that great. But when it came to the Mega Powers Light, that was freaking awesome. They were just stupid. And it made me laugh my head off. That's all I cared about. Seeing how the Mega Powers, at least in this instance, did what they're supposed to do. They're parodies of the awesome ones. And it made me laugh. And that's all that matters. That's what I hope you guys get from this. That, yeah, Sandow sucks going into the Macho Man Dower. Seeing Curtis Axel, who could be doing more than being Axelmania, and is to a certain point doing alright as Axelmania. But in this instance, their parody actually worked and it made me laugh. And I hope it made you laugh too. If not, well, I'm sorry. The Sheamus and the Orton. We've seen them so many times before. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because Randy Orton seemed to like Sheamus's mohawk because he started looking at him like, I wonder what I can do with that in the back. And then when he had him in the headlock, he's going, ooh, nice. That is the only thing that made me laugh from the entire segment at all. Getting Orton's head knocked off really didn't interest me that much because we've seen it before. And because Sheamus has not been really, let's be honest, him working with Dolph didn't really help Sheamus. Sheamus didn't get very much from Dolph. He just didn't. At certain points it was funny and interesting to a certain extent, but now he's kind of lost steam. So unless he's actually going to win Money in the Bank, I don't see anything good for him. And last, but certainly not least, the highlight of the show, where I do believe they kind of fell short. The Roman Reigns, and I believe I'm going to call it Roman Reigns, or no pain but a gain for Roman Reigns. I might actually use that. Let me give it to you like this. The opening up the show with Seth, seeing him pissed and saying, I don't need no fucking body, is finally a sign that they're going to go away from him. I'm hoping they are, because he really needs to finally turn face. Seeing Roman Reigns rise against the Barrett, the Bray Wyatt, who I really believe deserve better, because he's really being used as a plot device, and the Mark Henry, who's being used as a plot device as well. I'm really sad to see Mark is in Texas, and he has nothing really to do. Yeah, he was in Elimination Chamber, but he's really just there, and that's sad to see. The man deserves better. Mark Henry deserves better. But when you look past that, this was to spotlight Roman Reigns going into Money in the Bank and that ladder match. And am I happy to see it? Yes, I am. But I do believe they kind of fell short at the end, because they were spotlighting Dean Ambrose more. Even that short amount of time there, the crowd was more for Dean than they were for Roman Reigns. Now that's a double-edged sword, because if they were trying to get pops for Roman, they kind of failed, because Dean sucked it up. But if they're trying to tease that, even though Roman doesn't get pissed off, that the crowd isn't 100% behind him, maybe they're trying to tease that eventually he'll turn heel. Well, it's kind of hard to see it like that, because he was acting 100% face. But they could have set this up to make it a reason why he would turn from face to heel. Because in the end, if Roman wins the Money in the Bank, he will be going up against his brother. And you can't have two faces facing each other like this. It's just not going to work. Yet to a certain extent it will, because they got great chemistry in the ring. But eventually one of them must turn heel. And this is where it's going to get very interesting. If Roman Reigns, I don't know why I said Reigns, could be my allergy medicine, but you get my point. In the end, was this a good Raw? It was only good for one specific reason. They wanted to spotlight someone that the YWC still doesn't want to get fully behind. They just don't want to see another Cena 2.0. And I don't believe you're going to get that with him. There's only been one Cena only, ladies and gentlemen. No matter if you hate him, you love him, or you're somewhere in between, you're never going to get another one. Vince is never going to kiss and suck the dick of another man like a John Cena. So Roman Reigns is going to either be a very pale comparison to him, or he'll be something entirely different. So I'm hoping you see it for that, because Roman really can be more for us as wrestling fans. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. You will be getting my Ryback and Rusev debate of the week within this week. I think the next one will be tomorrow or the next day, but they both will be within this week. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace out.